Well, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried is going to take the stand to testify in his own defense. His attorney revealing in a conference call this morning that the former crypto tycoon now has an adequate supply of his ADHD medication, making him able to make this move, which some consider pretty risky. It's very risky, and I think that's safe to say, right? A lot of times this is viewed as almost a last resort when you run out of other options here. You're most often try to avoid this during criminal cases, but this comes following testimony that we've gotten from a number of his former colleagues, and many of them, Caroline Ellison being one of them. She was the CEO of Alameda, FTX's former head of engineering, Nishad Singh, also Gary Wang, the co-founder of the crypto exchange, pleaded guilty to fraud, but they're cooperating with prosecutors, and all three on the stand really pointing to SBF and his involvement, and that he was the one that was behind the misuse of customer funds, which we know is obviously at the heart of this trial. So the fact that he is expected to now take a stand later this week when the defense begins its side of the case certainly just signals, I think, the direction of this trial so far, and almost that there was no other option left in order other than for him to try and make his case at this point.
Right, very much a what do we have to lose type of strategy here. And you think about the charges here that he has pled not guilty to at this point, criminal charges including securities fraud, conspiracy to launder money, wire fraud, and those are just among a few of them. As you continue to think about how this plays out and what is also going to be taking place in tandem within the broader crypto world, crypto is still looking for and has finally got a bit of that way forward here, but it's not come in the form of an SBF. It's not come in the form of a CZ. It's come in the form of the SEC and ultimately finally having to look at the ETFs that have been submitted for approval and perhaps a blanket and sweeping type of approval process that could take place there to provide further validation for the broader crypto landscape here. And so the reason I bring that up is because so many of these figureheads were looked at for quite some time as the people that investors within crypto would have to find some weight around, find reasons to really have a belief in the whales and the long-term holders and the largest holders of crypto and the stalwarts of the industry, or at least gatekeepers of it, to say, okay, because they're doing successful, because they have all these innovative ideas, then crypto will do well too. Well, many of them have found themselves either in some type of proceeding, whether that be a criminal or a more civil proceeding that's taking place. For this one, it's certainly going to be watched. But I think if there's one thing that we take away from this, it's that there isn't some key figure that's just going to be one to rule them all in crypto. It's really more so how can, for the thread and for the tenor that was put forward at the beginning of this in the white paper from Satoshi from the start of this, how can this be more decentralized? And decentralization doesn't mean one core figure. It means many people having the opportunity to take part in the growth of a broader and newer type of financial system as well, too.
Yeah, certainly. We'll see if we learn anything new, but I think it's safe to say that testifying in your own defense case, obviously very, very risky, but I think many eyes will be paying close attention to what we hear from the courtroom in the coming days.